So, hello, English language learners. I hope to see you soon. So, I am waiting. I'm sure many of you will be joining my live session. And as you know, today we will have discussion, and I want to show you my YouTube playlist, and I want to show you how can you join my Zoom speaking sessions, because many of you are getting confused also. So that's why I decided that today I am not going to teach tenses or any other lesson, but this one is also for you to learn about technology, right? Okay, so let's see. I can see Priyanka Rawat is here, Amarjit is here. Hello, Amarjit. Hello, Priyanka Rawat. Good morning. Good morning. So let's wait for a few minutes. Maybe more students will join us, and then we can start our lesson. Okay. So how's everything? I'm sure you all are practicing, and I will see you next Saturday or Sunday, right? Based on your schedule. So I think many are busy. Maybe it's a dinner time, right? Or maybe it's too late and they already sleeping, right? I do, Priyanka. I just want to show them how to open their email, because many students are still struggling to open the email and to join my session. So I want to share my email where they can see the invitation. Okay? Yes, no, I am not going to teach the whole lesson on Zoom, but most of you already know that you need to download the Zoom app, right? Yes, my notification came late today because I think I mentioned a couple of times that my live Zoom sessions are sometimes not sure that if I am going to be live, because as you know, this is my daytime and I have many other responsibilities. But if it's like a Indian morning time and it's my evening time, then yes, then I can set the time. Yes. Okay, so let's share my YouTube screen, because many students, if they will join us late, they can replay it, right? And many of you sometimes ask me, ma'am, I don't know from where to start, what lessons I can start with. Vishal Max. Yes, Vishal, I will show you. See, Priyanka, now there are students, they want to know how to use the Zoom. Cricket videos. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. You know, your success is my success. That's what I say. If you are learning from me and you are making progress, then I feel like whenever I get a positive comment, and then when I, when students, they tell me that, ma'am, yes, I am improving, and my friends are noticing, or my family is noticing my improvement, that really makes me so happy. Hello, Tariq Anwar. Good to see you. So I'm going to share Kabhi Raj. It doesn't matter late, but you have to come surely in this platform. I try my best, Kabhi Raj. And yes, Kabhi Raj, I was reading your comment, and that's what I was thinking. Yes, for you, it might be surprising, but for me, it's not, because you know that I am a classroom teacher and I am teaching from last so many years, and especially in America from last 20 years. And most of you know that my students, they come from other countries, right? And they learn English as a second language also. I have students, they born in America, and sometimes English is not their first language at home also, because they might speak Spanish, or they might speak Nepali or Arabic or any other language. But when they start the institutions and then they start learning academic English, and many students, they come from other countries, they immigrant to America, and they don't know English, and they speak several other languages, and we don't use all those languages. They learn pretty much everything in English. Of course, it's like a struggle for them in the beginning. They get frustrated, they cry sometime, but they don't have any other choice, right? So they have to learn. And moreover, they set their, like we even set their goals for them. And we have like a specific goals for them for their language learnings. And like we create a plan for them. So those goals actually help them to stay motivated, because those are like a short-term goals. And moreover, again, English learning or any other language learning is a long process. I mean, think about your first language. How much time it takes you to learn your first language. And you're still learning, even in your first language also, right? Vishal Max, I'm feeling very well because you took my name. I am just saying everyone's name because I'm not missing any comment. I always read all comments. Try to do my best. If accidentally I miss someone's name, then I apologize for that. I have downloaded your several videos and watching again and again because I understand your English very easily. Oh, that's wonderful. That's great, because see, that's my point. I always say that, yes, my accent is American or close to Native American speakers, but still English is not my first language, right? English I learned as a second language too, like you, because as you know, I grew up in India, right? And I spent my, I will say, a lot of time in India, and I taught in India. I had my education from India, and then I had my education from American universities also. And I'm teaching here from last 20 years. So, I mean, you can connect with me or I can connect with you, right? Because English is not my first language too. And I don't know how many of you know that even my schooling, my like first, I will say up to 5th grade, I was in public school. But from 6th to 11th grade, I was in government school. So you can imagine, if you think your education is from government school or from your state board, and then that's the reason you don't know English, then here I am in front of you speaking English and teaching English to American students, okay? And my schooling is from government school. So everything is possible. That's what I say. But yes, it's not a short-term process. It's a long-term process. You can achieve. Nothing is possible Nothing is impossible. I am sorry. See, we all make mistakes. That's what I always say. No one is perfect. But if you say something and you realize it, correct it right away. Or if someone is saying something wrong, then you can help them, but be respectful. That's what I always say. So do not be scared to make mistakes, okay? Because mistakes are a part of every learning. It's not only language learning, but in every whatever you learn, even if you are playing any sport, if you are learning how to drive a car, or if you are learning how to ride your motorcycle or scooter or bicycle, anything, right? Yes. If I do mistake there, so please, no, you are fine. That's what I always say. It's okay. Make mistakes and learn from your mistakes, but do not be scared. Because again, fear is inside here. Fear is not outside. It's in your mind. And do not let other people judge you just because you know yourself more than anyone else, right? So be someone what you want to be. Not, your life should not be decided by others. Oh, that's my point. Okay, I am present. Good. Amit Kumar, Amit, today is my first day and I'm feeling well. Yes, good, welcome. And I'm sure you will be learning. See, again, I am telling you, I have here, like, for example, I have here Priyanka Rawat is right now. And Priyanka, she is watching my videos, she's practicing with it. And I even had noticed a lot of improvement in her. And she is telling that her friends and her family is telling her that she is improving. Even her accent is improving. So, I mean, you need to stick with it. It's not like just watching 2 videos, 3 videos, 4 videos, and then say, oh, I cannot do it, and then just run away and look for other things. No, you have to be consistent, like stay with it and keep practicing. It will help you, definitely. And language, again, I'm saying, it's not going to happen in 1 day or 1 week. It will be, your language skills will be enhancing, will be improving, but gradually. It takes time, okay? Priyanka, my 7th to 12th grade complete. Yes, right, okay, yes. So now, Priyanka, your English is improving, right? Yes, making mistakes is a part of learning, okay? If you will just sit there somewhere and not do anything, not move, you're not gonna make any mistake, right? Even, for example, if you are a girl, or even sometime in these days, like the most famous chefs are, I will say, males, right? And if you cook something and you accidentally add more salt or spice or something, so what? Next time you just be careful, right? So in every field, in everything, whatever we do, we make mistakes. It's fine. So even for language learning also. Again, I'm saying, I know in India there is a culture, perfectionism culture, but you are the youth, today's youth, you need to change that mindset, right? Because no one is perfect. The people, those they claim they are perfect, no, they are not, because no one is perfect. We all are learners, and learning never stops. Yes, our growth can stop, our height can stop at one point, right? But learning, think about it when you wake up in the morning and go to bed, and think about it, how many new things you learn. So every day we learn something. You just need to pay attention what you are learning something, right? And then you will notice that how much you learn every day. Vishal Max, ma'am, I have a question. Is English grammar important? Yes, Vishal, think about it. Do you think our backbone is important? to sit, to walk, or to move around. If we don't have a backbone, or if our backbone is not functioning properly, then we will be laying on the bed, right? So English grammar is a backbone of the language. I know it's a little interesting for me because in India, most of the teachers were teaching a grammar. And now in these days, I am looking and watching on YouTube that learn English, speak English without grammar. And that's very interesting for me too. I am not saying that learn grammar all the time. My point is you need to know the grammar, the definitions of all like a parts of speech, or like, the verbs, it's a past tense or present tense. Yes, you need to know it, right? But my point is that you need to put it into practice. Learn it implicitly. Implicit means you use it, right? So grammar is important, but you don't need to memorize everything. That's my point. Yes, grammar is important for the language, but grammar is a part of the language. Grammar is not everything, right? You need vocabulary. You need a lot of information, I will say. Okay. I hope I answered your question, Vishal. Okay. Ma'am, you know samosa? Priyanka Rawat. I know samosa. Yes, sure. Okay, ma'am, you want to eat samosa? My sister making right now. See, I have samosas too. And here we get samosas from Indian grocery stores. We have Indian stores. And we get all Indian groceries. So yes, samosas, they make all kind of samosas, tikkis, everything. And sometimes I cook at home too. Not samosas, but other things. Yes. And thank you for offering me samosas, Priyanka. I hope you will enjoy your dinner with samosas. Kabiraj, I appreciate you also, and no one is perfect. Yes, of course. Yes, yes. Yes, you are absolutely correct, Kabiraj. You are very welcome, Vishal Max. Okay. Akash Jain, right, man. Biswajit. Hello, ma'am. I'm from Calcutta in India. I enjoy your video and learn something new every day. Yes, thank you. You are very welcome. Everyone knows samosas, yes. But she is offering me, Akash. Akash Sharma, absolutely, yes, yes, okay. So I will say again, yes, I know there are some students, sometimes they write in comments that they do not understand the prepositions because prepositions are very confusing, or sometimes they say they cannot speak in English because they don't know how to speak in English. They are not sure what's important for learning any language. So those kind of questions are, I mean, that makes me feel like students are not sure. They do not have a right guidance how to learn a language. And I can understand because there are so many YouTube channels, first of all, and I know many of you are exploring many YouTube channels, and everyone has their own way of teaching and their own views about language, right? Or their own belief system about language. But again, I'm saying, please try to understand whatever we teach. If you are certified and you are teaching, that means you have some kind of trainings in that field, right? So, for example, in my case, I am teaching from last 35 years. And teaching is not just my profession, it is my passion because I love to teach. And you might not believe it, in 1998, in America, I did e-commerce and Java programming also, because that was the time I was also trying to find out where I need to settle my life in America. And then that was the time when technology was very new and everyone was getting in the technology field and people were suggesting to go ahead and do the degree. And because in a technology world, you can make a lot of money too. So that was the time when I completed my degree in e-commerce and Java programming from here in America. And then I was like, I don't think so I can go and sit in one like a room or office and I will be working all day on computer and not interacting with students, because that's what I was doing since 1984, I will say. So then I was like, no, I will get my education from America in teaching and I will get my all certification and I want to teach. So that's the reason I did not go to I didn't become a programmer, computer programmer, but then I joined the University of Virginia and I had my degrees in English as a second language teaching, and then I had my licenses teaching English as a first language also, and I started teaching. So that's something I really enjoyed. And then in that period of time, in these 20 years, I had hundreds of trainings also. And we do like every day or reflections or observations or researches on how students are learning language as a second language also. So, I mean, the reason I'm telling you this because I have so much experience and so many trainings with how students can learn a language. And at the same time, I learned English as a second language too. So if I am telling you anything about language learning, I am not telling you because I heard it from somewhere or I watched any YouTube videos from another channel and I am telling you because I just heard from another YouTuber or something like that. No, whatever I am telling you or providing you any information or teaching you any lesson, it's all based on my trainings and my experience and my classroom interaction with English language learners who come from many other countries, and some of them, they even not able to speak one word in English, but they sit in American classroom with American students all day listening English, and they might not understand even a 1% out of, like, think about it. They don't even know alphabet in English, some of them. I'm not talking about all students. Not even ABC. They learn ABC. Can you imagine the teenagers? Sometimes the students is like 15-year-old, 16-year-old, 17 years old. They start learning ABC. But at the same time, while they are learning ABC or the simple sight words like and or this or that or his or her, sight words like, then at the same time in science, social study, math, all other classes, their English, they are like reading. I'm not saying they're reading, but they are using those books, right? And that English is American English. You can imagine, even in America, when any student, 5 years old student, start kindergarten or preschool, they know at least 4 to 5,000 vocabulary words. They already know it because they learned at home in their family. Because think about your language. When you start school, you already know your first language, right? You are able to communicate a lot of your needs, right? You play with your friends, you use your first language. That's the same thing for American students. And can you imagine those students, they are coming from another country, they are new in the country, and they are interacting with students, those they are born here, grew up here, and they already have English is their first language. So can you imagine their frustration? And sometimes they cry. They cry because I know I have many stories. And I know one of my students, she came from Arabic country, and she was very smart girl. And I think she was getting always like a first division in her home country. But when she came, and that was the time when she was in 8th grade, and she didn't know English at all. And she didn't even know how she will ask if she needs to go to drink water or go to the bathroom or want to eat, lunch, or if she is sick or she needs to go to the clinic, like basic needs. And I remember I like Googled it, her language, and gave her a list of sentences in English and gave her the translation for her in her first language, only for the basic needs. And then whatever she was listening, she was copying, she was writing. And I will say for about 2 months, she was like so quiet and used to have like a tears here, pretty much. I mean, and I was sorry for her. But then gradually, what happened? She started picking up the language. She started speaking. She started speaking. And by the end of the year, she was able to communicate very well. And that was the time she told me that she was excellent student in her home country, but when she came here, she felt like she's dumb. She doesn't know anything, right? But she learned it very quickly. Why? Because she doesn't had any choice. She was not in her comfort zone. So I'm just telling you one story. There are many stories like this. I remember there is another story I would like to share with you today. This story is about a girl from India, from Punjab. And when she came to America, she was in 12th grade. Can you imagine, in 12th grade? And she was not in my institution. She was in another institution, but in my district. And the teacher over there, she knew that I speak Punjabi and Hindi. So she called me. She said, Dr. TK, I want you to come and help me because this student, she is not speaking anything and she just cry a lot and we want to test her, and if you can help us. I said, sure. And I remember I went there in her school and she was in 12th grade. And I told the teacher, I said, yeah, you can leave her here in my room and I can talk to her. And then I talked to her in Punjabi. And you will not believe it. It's true that she got up because I talked to her about Punjabi and about culture, like what you like to do. She said, I like to dance like a gidda, Punjabi gidda. And I was like, okay. And I didn't even tell her to do anything, but she got up and she started dancing. She started, in a Punjabi boliyan with the, songs, Punjabi song. And she was like opened up. I was like, wow. And then at the same time, the other teacher, the American teacher, her teacher, she came in and she was like, wow, what you did? I was like, no, I didn't do anything. I'm just sharing my language with her and you can see the reaction. So can you imagine those kind of students? Because her schooling was, she was from a rural area and she was in a government school and she didn't know English. And she was just like in her, I will say, in her shell. She was, because everyone in high school, especially, can you imagine, 12th grade, and everyone was speaking English around her, all students, all teachers, and there were some other students in that class, they were speaking Spanish only. And she was the only one who was a Punjabi speaker, right? So, I mean, there are so many students, and sometimes we feel bad about it. We feel their pain, the struggles they go through. But as a teacher, that's the reason I can always put myself in your situation when I talk to you. And that's the reason I always say we all are learners, and it's okay to make mistakes, but you should learn. And let me tell you, and one day after like 2 years or something, I think, I went to Indian temple, Gurdwara, and I saw her and she came to me and she said, ma'am, did you remember me? I was like, yeah. And she was speaking so fluently English and I was looking at her and I was like, yes, I will never forget you, So, I mean, that's what it is. जिसको वो हिंदी में कहते हैं सोना तपता है, उसमें heat है. Yes, it's a hard work, positive attitude, and you need to come out of your comfort zone and you need to need to stay with someone and do not just keep changing your mindset, because you will become successful if you are dedicated. And yes, positive attitude. Do not hate the language, love the language, because every language is very beautiful and every culture is very beautiful. And every culture or language or food, even I will say, in every culture, everything rich. Everyone thinks their culture is the richest one. And I can understand that better because I know students from every corner of this world. My students are from Korea, my students are from Vietnam, from all Arabic countries, African countries. I will say even Europe, many countries from Europe also. And in Europe also, all countries are not English-speaking countries. They speak several other languages also, and American students. So, I mean, my experience and my exposure is very vast. And that's the reason I always say, you can do it. The ad I just uploaded today for 90 seconds, it might surprise you, but for me, it's my routine, my regular routine. I see students improve and become successful. I mean, outstanding, amazing stories, sometimes unbelievable for some of you, but for us, it's not, because we know if you learn, if you are dedicated, positive, and do not depend too much on translation, please. Again, I'm telling you, whatever you will listen, you will produce. So if you are listening more Hindi or Punjabi or your first language and translation, then you will struggle to speak in English. Because in order to speak in English, you need to listen in English, you need to read in English, you need to write in English, right? Yes, grammar is important, but grammar is not everything. It's the backbone of the language. Every language, think about your language. You need grammar too. Okay. Ma'am, Vishal, let me see. I think I was just lost the track on my comments. Okay, everyone knows samosa, absolutely right. Yes, ma'am. Okay. I don't have guideline. Yes, you need to make your short-term goals. Think about what you need to achieve within 1 month or 2 months, but set a reachable goal. Don't say, because you know yourself more than anyone else do. Vishal, I did not talk in English with anybody, but now I'm trying to talk in English with you. Yes, Vishal, practice. And you need to practice to your mouth muscles also. And that's why I say, there are students, they copy with me and they repeat. I'm not saying memorize. There is a difference in memorizing something or repeating after someone or copying someone. Because when you are copying the accent, or you are copying the words, right? And or you are copying the sentence structures. So that is for your practice, for your speaking practice. So please do not mix up with this memorization or speaking practice, okay? Because I know even in my classrooms here in America, sometimes when I teach students, and sometimes there are some words, their pronunciation is complicated, and sometimes for one word, it takes them to learn that word after like 6, 7, 8, 9 repetition, right? So even in my Saturday or Sunday's class, there was a one student and he was asking about, ma'am, it's a pronunciation or how to pronounce this word. And I was like, pronunciation. So I was breaking up the word and then I was teaching him how to say that word. So it took him like 3, 4 times to pronounce that word correctly. So that's my point. You need to, when you copy, you can practice. It helps you to improve your English as well as your pronunciation too, okay? Okay, Balveer Katoch, good evening. I'm Suraj Singh from Jammu and Kashmir, India. Balveer Katoch, your account is open. You can comment from there too. No, it's open. Sure. Vishal Max Suraj, I apologize if you will feel bad, but I won't tell you that ma'am is not sitting here to talk. Your comment at screen. No, he knows. Suraj, Suraj, you can comment through your name. It's fine, Suraj. Yes, Suraj is excellent student actually. He was in my session last time and he's very hardworking. So that's the reason, Suraj, today I will be explaining how to use Zoom also, okay? How to open your email, because some of you are struggling. But now I'm sure, Suraj, you are able to do that, right? You are not blacklist anymore. Oh my God. You're not, Suraj. Okay, Devinder. Some people speak fluently English, but they don't know grammar rules, but they speak fluently. How that is? Okay, they see here grammar rules. You don't need to memorize grammar rules, Devinder Singh. That's my point. It's not like they don't know grammar. They know grammar, but they don't need to know this is third form of the verb or this is past continuous tense, or this is a future continuous, or this is a perfect tense, or this is a conditional sentence. They don't need to know those names. That's the point. You need to understand. They know grammar. It's so confusing. I mean, I do not understand who is telling you that grammar is not important. Yes, grammar is important, but you do not need to remember. If you are not appearing for any examination where they are going to assess your grammar skills, then you don't need to remember that. If it's a future tense, if it's a past tense, if it's a continuous tense, if it's a, I mean, name it. You don't need to remember those names, right? But when you practice speaking, you automatically start using correct English. That's the point, okay? And how that happen? That will happen when you will be listening in English, and you will be reading in English, and you will be writing in English. That's my point. That's what you need to know. But if you are learning English as a second language, if you are not living in English speaking country, then you learn a lot of grammar. I know that. And that's okay. Learning grammar, tenses, it's important for language learning. Who says it's not important? I never said it's not important. And I will never say grammar is not important. My point is, grammar is not everything. You do not need to remember the grammar names of, like, yahan pe, for example, I'm going to say verb V3, V2, V4, something like that. You do not need to remember all that stuff. Because, but my understanding is that, especially I know about Indian students, that in India, even the YouTubers or all, they teach so much about grammar. Yahan pe verb ki third form lagegi, fourth lagegi. Even if you look at the title for their YouTube videos, it's like a speaking, but they don't speak anything in English. They just speak few words, whatever, or sentences, whatever is written on the screen, whatever they are teaching. But most of their teaching is in Hindi. But their title is Speak Fluently in English, Speak Advanced English. So that's my concern. If you are teaching speaking, then you need to speak English too, because that's what you're teaching. If you are an English teacher, you need to speak in English so the students can listen to you, and they can listen your instructions in English, and then they can pick up from you. That's the point. Grammar is important. Who said grammar is not important? And that's what I'm noticing in these days. Many teachers there are writing, learn speaking without grammar. I don't know. What does that mean? Even in America, even in American students, the ones, those they are born here and they just know only one language is English. We teach them grammar too, because that's a part of the language. But we teach them grammar in text, within the text. We just might gonna have a one, like for example, my yesterday's lesson, don't go too far, just take my yesterday's lesson. We were learning about tenses, right? And we were practicing about past continuous tenses, right? Or past tenses. And I just gave you the definition. That's it. I said, okay, this is a past tense. This is the meaning. That's what we need to do. And then I put the whole story written by one of my students, and you were practicing. I was not practicing. I was helping you. But you were the one who were doing work. I was not doing the work. I, as a teacher, was just checking your work. And at the same time, other students were checking each other's work also. right? So that's the way you need to teach interaction. It should not be teacher talking, and students are passive listener, and they are listening English learning in Hindi or in any other first language. That's the problem. Then it's going to take you forever. And that's the biggest reason in India, students are struggling to learn English. Okay, so try to understand. First of all, you are the best judge. You know, you need to self-assess your language skills, where you stand, how much you know in English reading. What level do you think your reading is? I know in India you can say beginner level or intermediate level or advanced level, because you don't have actual English reading assessment tools. But at least you know yourself. You know, reading does not mean that you are able to read the words. Reading means when you read something, do you understand? Are you able to comprehend? And if you are able to comprehend simple W's, what, where, what, why, when, or H, how, believe me, those skills are the lower level English understanding skills. So at least if you know that much, that means your English is reading is at least at that level where you are able to understand. And that understanding is your memory understanding. That understanding is not the higher order thinking understanding. That I can teach you. It's different than just understanding something or understanding with a, how you evaluate something, how you analyze something, how you critically understand something. There are so much to learn in a language. But at least I'm talking about the basic level. So then when you talk about listening, for example, so whenever you listen something, are you able to, for example, right now, whatever I'm talking to you, because I'm not talking to you in Hindi. So do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? Are you getting my point? That's what it is. And then comes the writing. So even for writing, for example, whatever we are talking today or discussion, I will say, like, for example, there are students, they're writing their diaries because I recommended them. And I have a video lessons also where I explained them how to write their journals or their diaries, where they can write on every day what they are learning or anything happen in their life. Because that's also the good way to start writing, at least the basic beginner level writing, I will say, because that's the first step you need to do. And then comes speaking. So even if you do not have anyone around you where you can practice with someone, then just whatever you are writing, just write and say it loudly when you are writing. And when you are writing, say it loudly and then try to make sense out of your sentences. So you will be assessing your skills by yourself. For example, if I want to write my diary today and I want to put it on a piece of paper, I mean my notebook or my diary, and diary can be any notebook, right? So if I want to write about today, and I'm going to say today in Dr. DK's class, I was learning about improving my English. How I'm going to write this sentence? I was learning, right? I'm not learning right now. am. So I'm not going to use am. I will be using was because it happened. It already happened. So like that, I was learning, right? Or I can say I learned. Today I learned about how I can practice my English skills. So something like that. You need to talk to yourself. Okay. So it's a good practice. You need to find out your learning methods, I will say. Okay. Because everyone learn differently. You have to identify your learning style. Like, for example, I uploaded the video today, and that student, he told me, he was like, and there are many like him. He is not the only one. I just recorded his, and I have many students, they say the same thing, that man, yes, we are practicing and we are improving. We are noticing, even other people are noticing, right? So I'm here to teach you the strategies, but I can just teach you the strategies, but you are the one who will be using and practicing and getting the benefit, right? So let's read some of the chats. Okay, because they listen more. Yes, Priyanka, you are listening a lot, Priyanka, I know that. Ma'am, I felt that someone binded my mouth when I write in chat, but I want to speak English with someone, but I doesn't have option. I do not have option. Yes, Vishal Max, you can join my Zoom session and then let's see how much you are able to speak. And the problem, if you say someone, I know there are many students, they say sometime when they want to speak, the words, do not come out of their mouth. So they feel like everything just got stuck here. And it's a common problem, Vishal. It's not your problem only, but I will say 90% students, I will say, go through the same situation. So, but gradually they start speaking and you will start speaking too. I'm sure about it. Okay. Devinder Singh, got it, good. Yes, Suraj, you are there now. Okay, thank you, Faizan Farouk. Okay, you are very welcome, Suraj. Rupesh, hello, Rupesh. Yes, you got it. Yes, Rupesh. Good morning, Hanshika. Yes, dear diary. You remember, Priyanka, my lesson. Yes, dear diary today in, yes. Because see, that's what even my student in my class here in America, in first 5 minutes, every day they write. Every day they write. And then I write them back sometimes. Yes, you saw that video. Good. Anshika Jan, the setup is looking amazing. It's not a setup, it's my one of my room, but thank you, Hanshika. Thank you. You're very welcome, Vishal Max. How can we improve our vocabulary, ma'am? Please tell us. Faizan, you need to read, watch my videos, all my videos. I think you are new. Oh, Vishal Max. Be English language learners. Okay. Yes. Yes, Vishal. I will say trust someone. And I'm not saying trust me. No, you can trust any teacher and trust someone and follow them and learn from them. That's my point. It could be any teacher. It could be your teacher in your institution, if you have any class, or if you're a student, or if you are learning from YouTube, then you can have any YouTuber which you like. I mean, it's not me only. There are many. So that's my point, that learn, and it's not just be dependent on YouTube videos. Because here it's mostly, I always say, whatever I am teaching you here, it's mostly a supplementary material. That means extra material. But at the same time, you need to do a lot of practice by yourself, okay? Instead of having many books in grammar, if you just have one small book in grammar where they explained, I mean, if you need it, that's my point. You don't need so many grammar books, okay? But you need to read more and write more and practice by yourself. Not just do the exercises, grammar exercises. No, I don't think so. I never learned that way English. I never learned English that way, believe me, because as you know, I grew up in India and I learned the same way, the way you are learning in India. Never learned English that way, because I think I learned a lot when I started reading, and especially when I started focusing on what I'm reading and the structures. Yes, that helps me a lot. Okay, good, Hanshika. You are lost in curtains, girl. Okay, now let me share my YouTube channel with you, and I want to show you because many of you are new, and then also at the same time I want to show you how can you open the Zoom email and get connected and join my session. Okay, so let me share the screen with you for now. Okay, so okay, guys, let's see. I have to pick up the screen. English. Okay, guys, please wait for a while, and I hope I will be able to share my screen with you. Okay, so let's see. Okay, let's see. There are so many applications are open here, so I'm trying to close many applications before I share my screen. So let's see. Okay, so. Okay. Share. Here it is. Finally. Okay, I hope you are able to see the screen. And on this screen, you can see my channel. And it's not bilingual anymore because mostly I am speaking English and I will prefer to speak English. The reason I started it bilingual because that was the time I didn't know your needs, but now I know most of you, and I will say 99.9% students want to listen everything in English, and that's what I want you to do that too, because you need to listen more English in order to understand in English, right? So if you look at this screen, I hope you can see this. If there is any problem, please write in the comment section. So this is my YouTube channel. And let me see also on my screen, because I just want to make sure that you are able to see that screen, right? Okay, so if you look at the playlist, for example, this one is home, and then my videos, and then playlist. This is the place where I want you to pay attention. And if you see, there are many playlists, right? So the first one is liked videos. The second one, YouTube live English speaking lessons. So if you click on, you can find all my lessons, right? So this one is already open, but on this side, you can see the list, right? So you can see these lessons. So far, including today's lesson, I think I have 14 lessons in this playlist, right? And then you can look at another playlist. These are all my Zoom speaking and live discussion sessions. So there are many already uploaded, and even in future. So in the future, I will be keep uploading all my Zoom sessions. I am not uploading everything from my Zoom sessions, but I just add some of the Zoom sessions here because I want to teach you more than just to upload all my Zoom sessions, right? So that is the playlist. And then I have this one, English Hindi excellent lessons. And believe me, these are really very excellent lessons. All my lessons are wonderful. And these lessons are more about how can you learn English. And moreover, these lessons are my old lessons also. Some of the lessons uploaded last year too. For example, this one, Lage Raho Munna Bhai. So you need to learn, watch this all. Challenge yourself speaking, for example, and then English speaking, talking about, and that was my old ad. And then here, I started making videos on assess your speaking skills, but I just made 2 videos that time, and I did these like last year. But then I noticed many students were not interested to assess their own skills, so I just discontinued making those videos. But if you will be interested, I can add more videos where you can go through and you can assess, you can do your self-assessment in your speaking skills or in your reading, writing, and listening skills too. Then I have must-watch English videos. These are about Kruger's effect, Kruger-Dunning's effect, and that's very important for you to learn because especially if you have a complex, and many of you are underestimating yourself, okay? And I didn't see so far someone who is overestimating, but many of you underestimate yourself. So I will say must watch all these videos from this category. So speak in English, how to learn English. You ask me all the time how to learn English. Then I have some of other vocabulary lessons. I mean, all futkal means miscellaneous lessons in this category. The lessons where I kind of was not sure where to put these lessons, right? Now here, basic to advanced grammar lessons. I don't have many, but I will be making more lessons on grammar also because I always say grammar is important. You need to know the basics, right? But do not just memorize everything in grammar. That's my point. Then basic to intermediate writing. I didn't have many lessons, but I do have some. But I will be teaching a lot of writing also in future. As you know, this channel is new and I started, it's like a less than 1 year, and I already have about close to 300 now, getting close to 300 video lessons, and I will keep uploading more lessons. And now these lessons are writing, capitalization, and punctuation. Very important if you want to improve your writing, because capitalization and punctuation is vital for writing, and this will help you to improve your writing skills. So if you are a student or if you are a test taker and writing will be assessed, then you must practice your capitalization and punctuation marks, okay? Then the most important with correct pronunciation. So these are the lessons. I will say you can replay these videos many times and practice with correct pronunciation. And because these words are the most useful words in English language. That means most frequently used words, because these words, I have about more than 700 words in 26 video lessons where you can practice correct pronunciation. You can practice the spellings also, and you can practice to use these sentences, words into sentences in your speaking, in your writing, okay? Because these vocabulary words are going to help you. And I do not give you any translation, but because when you will be reading with me, you will be encountering. Encountering means you will be seeing these words a lot in reading also. So that's what you need to practice. You are going to read these words in readings. You are going to use these words in your speech and your writing and reading. Okay. Now, this one is Beginning English Classroom from America. So these are my classroom lessons. I don't have many lessons, but I do have some lessons. So I will say these lessons will also help you. And you can see these lessons, actually the beginner lesson means there are students in this class which you will not be able to see them, but you can listen them. Their voices are there because they are interacting with me. And these students are beginner level, means their English skills were so low, but they are learning everything in English, no translation. So you can imagine if they can do it, you can do it, because you know a lot more English than these students, those they were in my beginner level class. Now, English, Hindi, English speaking challenge. So this, I have a little bit bilingual, but mostly I try to speak English. So if you are interested, yes, this one. Every lesson is going to help you. You will be learning something new in every video. That's my promise to you. I know that. Reading comprehension skills. I will be adding many more practice activities here, because reading is essential and it's very, it's vital for you to learn through reading. Okay. Then I have this list where best English, Hindi bilingual lessons. I have some of the discussions here. Then I started even how to use the dictionary. So this one is also very beneficial for you. And then if you have any question, let me read your messages. So I hope, okay, let me read your messages before I continue. Okay. Rupesh, we will be writing, yes, dear diary, excellent, yes, yes. I will start writing diary tonight, excellent. Hanshika, okay, self-study. I have lots of grammar books. I sit to study grammar, then my mind is, yeah, grammar is boring. If you will be learning too much grammar, you will not like English language at all. That's, I know for sure that. So please learn grammar implicitly. That's what implicit means, in the text. When you read something, just focus on what you are learning, okay? Okay, Faizan, ma'am, have you written your own English book? I am working on many books that right now I'm working on my course, because I will be start teaching one course from June 15. So right now I'm working on that. But I will not create a grammar book, but if I am doing something, I will be using a different method to create a book. Okay, and I'm working on it. Okay, Oxford, etc. books. Vishal, okay. Priyanka, I want to join with your Zoom session. Sure, Priyanka, you're gonna email me. Sure, Vishal, Max. I hope you already emailed me. If you didn't, then you have to send me an email in order to join my session. So now I am going to show you my more playlists. So for example, this one, intermediate to advanced, reading, grammar, writing test. So if you want to assess your grammar skills, you can, or your reading, then you can take these tests, and these are intermediate level tests. And these tests I created based on, in American standard, I will say from less than 8th grade. Yes, it's below 8th grade level. It's from 6th, 7th, or pretty much 8th grade level. Okay, so you can assess your skills if you want to. Then I have this one, intermediate advanced classroom from America. So these students are from intermediate level, and I have some lessons. And again, you can hear the interaction, my students and my interaction. And these are my classroom lessons. Then I have, these are my question answers. So you might kind of find some of the answers of your questions if you will watch these videos. I don't know how many I have here, but I don't have many in this one. And then this one is a basic beginner English diagnostic test and answers. So, but I'm sure you will be honest. You're not gonna look your answer key. First, you will take the test and then you can see the answers. Maybe some of the pictures or the text are small because these are the lessons I created in, I will say maybe in August the last year. So when I just started my channel. So after that, I also learned a lot. See, we all learn, right, from our experiences. And then here I have a basic English, Hindi speaking, reading, listening, and writing lessons. These are also wonderful lessons. You will be learning a lot. And then these are the listening stories. I just read the stories for you and it's just for listening. So, I mean, I have close to 300 videos already uploaded, and I will be keep uploading, and I will be keep inviting you for Zoom sessions also. So now let's talk about the Zoom part. Now here, for example, if you receive email, like for example here, this email, I send this email to a student, and if you see this kind of message, you always receive this kind of message where I have when is my class, the date, the time, right? And if you see this one, you receive this email at this time, and English with the American Educator is inviting you to the scheduled Zoom meeting. The topic, right? Dr. DK's free speaking session, 6:30 p.m. Indian time. I want you to please pay attention on this time, because this is the time when you need to open your invitation. I have noticed that sometime when I send the email, then I get the message from Zoom that students are waiting for you. And because I think you missed this time somehow, and then when you receive the email, you just start clicking on the invitation. Please do not do that. You are going to click on this invitation where it says join Zoom meeting. What time? Whatever the time is written here in this topic, you need to look at the topic. So in this topic, if the time is 6:30 or 7 o'clock, or PM means evening, so I write on PM Indian time, or 8 o'clock, then you have to check the time, check the date, and then at that time, look at your clock. Okay, but if it's 6:30, then you can start setting up maybe at 6:25 or 22. And by the time, because I always open my session pretty much 5 minutes before the session. So then you can click here. So for example, if I'm gonna click here, let's see, because I already, this meeting is not there, but then you can see, open the Zoom session, right? You will get this kind of message. So if you will open, and then you can say, you are already in another meeting. Do you want? No, I don't. And moreover, this meeting I already deleted, so you will not be able to get in. But if I will be sending you any invitation, then you will be in my classroom. Okay, so I hope you understand this. And this will be next time when I will send you the invitation. then you will be able to see the meeting. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so are you able to see the screen? That's my point. Let's see if you can see. Okay, so let me read your messages and then we can end today's meeting. Okay, Abhishek. I'm confused because from where I start to see videos. Vishal, you can start watching videos from any playlist, I will say, because whatever you will be learning, that will be adding up in your language, right? So it's not from where to start, but I will say if you really want to know exactly from where to start, then you can even start from my vocabulary lessons also. Okay, so I hope you understand that you can start from my vocabulary lessons, and then you can even start from the basic one, I will say, and then watch the intermediate. And but again, it's not just watching. I will advise you to practice with it. Okay, and there are many students, they are practicing, they are speaking, they are reading it with me. So for example, I think I closed my lesson. Maybe if you are able to see this, let's see. If you are able to see my screen, then I will show you one activity, okay? That how can you practice with the lessons. So I hope you understand. And if you have any questions, you can ask me. Again, if you are not very comfortable to write everything in English and you have a question, you are not able to express your concern or questions in English, you can write in Roman English also, like Roman Hindi, sorry. Yes, you can do that. I mean, I always say, even to my students here in America also, we do not teach them in their language, but sometimes if they want to tell us something and they don't know how to say it in English, then we give them permission to write in their language, so we can sometimes translate into Google or something, because we need to know what they want to tell us, right? So same thing is here. If you have any question and you want to know or you want to ask, but you are not able to write in English, then you can write in Hindi, and that's okay. I can answer you, okay? Yes, okay. Think English. Think. Suraj Singh, are you saying that think in English? You cannot force yourself to think in English. Okay, that's my other concern. There are sometimes people, they say, think in English, think in English, think in English. I will say, do not force yourself to think in English, because when you know enough English, then you will be automatically thinking in English. And that's what, if you remember, I was teaching one lesson, for example, where they had visuals and they were explaining, and I was even providing them vocabulary, and they learned so many vocabulary words within the picture, and everything was in English. So they learned the vocabulary in English, not through translation. So when they know, next time when they will think about, they will be thinking especially for those words in English, right? Because they didn't receive the translation. So if you want to think in English, then you need to listen more in English, but do not force yourself to think in English, because that will never happen. And that will be a complete waste of time just to think about it, that you have to think in English. You understand? That will be a complete waste of time and frustration when you will be thinking that you have to think in English and you are not able to think in English. Okay. Now, Tuman Bhargav, thank you that you are here, and I read your comment that between happen or be, and I was like, yes, I want to answer him, but it's not possible to write this answer in the comment section. So yes, I will tell you the difference between happen or be. Okay. Happen to be, not be, happen to be. So I don't know, you are, it should be, it's not a happen or be, it's a happen to be. Okay. JM Ashish Sharma, motivation. Guys, your names are very interesting, right? Okay. Yes. So Tuman Bhargav, your question, if it's a happen to be, then I can answer, but otherwise, reading, hearing, and talking, and last writing. I will say, Rupesh, if you ask me, I will say listening, reading, writing, and talking. Okay, because first we listen, then we start reading also, and then we write also, and then we start talking. And I mean, you can put it in any sequence, but if you think about how our brain works, we listen first. We listen a lot of language, and then we start producing, yes. But when we learn second language, most of the time we learn second language when we are in school, right? And when we are in school, we learn the language, we listen, and then we write, and then we read also. And then speaking is pretty much the last part, right? So, but in our first language, we listen, and then we start speaking. And then comes the reading and writing, right? So, I mean, you can put it in any sequence. So, Tuman Bhargav, do you want to know happen to be? If your answer is yes, then I can answer that question. But if you are saying happen or be, I don't know what you are trying to ask. Yeah. Tuman, happen means hoga, or be means hona. Okay. Hona hoga. You reminded me one song. But how to identify that, where we use be? Going to be. Mostly we use be when we say, talk about future. I'm going to be. I'm going to be live tomorrow. I am going to be, where I'm going to be going to somewhere like that. But I mean, so you know every word's translation. I never practiced English with every word's translation, because when you speak in English, you do not go with translation in other language, okay? Because sometimes there are some words you use in your language, but when you translate in another, it just changes the sense. So, but you are telling me the meaning in Hindi. So, I mean, be, we use going to be. That's the way we use be. Otherwise, be itself is a verb also, right? A state of being where you say am, is, are. But happen to be is a word, like it's kind of like, I will say, a phrase which you use in a sarcastic way. Sarcastic way means so happen is something happened, like kya hua, what happened, right? Happen to be. Happen to be, that's what I was thinking you are asking me, happen to be. Happen to be is like if you are saying about someone, instead of just saying that he, for example, if someone is not following the rules, community rules, I will say, and you're going to say why that person is not following the rules, and you're going to say he happens to be minister's son, right? Instead of just saying he is or politician's son, he happens to be politician's son. I'm not saying they are not following the rules, but generally, right, we say it. Or if someone is in a movie, for example, any actor, and they are not doing a good acting or something, but they are in a movie, and you can say, how come someone, selected him? And you're going to say, oh, she happened to be such and such actress daughter or son, So that means that instead of just saying that he is a politician's son, or she is if she is a actress daughter, you say it sarcastically because that's the reason they are there, or that's the reason they are not doing this because they don't care about it, or something like that. You're telling about someone, but it is sarcastically. Sarcastic means अब हिंदी में I don't know how to say in Hindi. Sarcastic, किसी को बताना, but उसको के no, if anyone knows sarcastically Hindi meaning, you can write down. Okay, Vishal, I will always grateful to you. Thank you, Vishal. Oh no, don't give me, please do not give me that much. God is God. We are humans. So Tuman, happen is very simple word, and I don't know why you are so confused with this. Okay. Yeah. Okay, guys. So any other question? So Tuman Bhargav, let me tell you, the way you are learning English with each and every word and with this translation, I think it's going to be very complicated. If you learn it, read it, understand it, that will be more helpful for you. It's for your benefit, I'm telling you, because the more you will be just sticking with the same language and trying to understand it within the context, that will help you more, instead of just pointing out each and every word and looking for its meaning. That makes learning very complicated. This is for your benefit as a teacher, I'm telling you, okay? So I hope you understand, and you will get the benefit, and keep learning, keep improving. And if you have any question, and if that question is, I will say, yes, you need to know answer in elaboration, I need to elaborate it, then I will answer it here in my live sessions. Otherwise, most of the time, I try to answer you in the comment section. Okay, so is there any last question about Zoom or about my playlist? Then you can go ahead and ask me for last 2 minutes, and then I will be ending this session. Today my session is too long. I think it's getting over 90 minutes, but that's the reason I decided today not to teach you any other lessons. Okay, then I can send, yes, you can send me an email and I will invite you. If you are next, I will invite you on Saturday, Vishal. So my email is English at my command at gmail.com. Okay, so you can email me. And again, if you like this video, if you like this live session, please click on the like icon, because that helps me to come live and interact with you and to teach you. I personally like live sessions instead of recording and uploading, because here, right here, you can ask me questions and I can answer your questions and we can interact, so we can clear the doubts. I mean, this one is amazing. So I will say last question to be plus verb plus ing. Again, Tuman. Be plus verb plus ing. So I am going to be, you are too much in grammar. Tuman, you guys have so many grammar books, right? Tuman Bhargav, the way you are learning English, I think you need to watch many grammar lessons from grammar teachers. Okay. I will say learn more implicit language. Grammar, learn implicitly. Do not learn like this, because you need to know the definitions and then use everything in context. That's what I will say. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed it, and I am going to end this session. I will see you tomorrow, and have a wonderful evening and stay blessed.